At Simmons Bank, they are with you every step of the way. Call Jamie Kyle, 423-381-3429.
Matthew Coleman joins us, the Logan-Thompson law firm. This is the weekly segment, a little bit earlier, but once a month, Matt, you Logan-Thompson Law turns their time over for an update on the Cleveland Board of Education, of which you're also a board member. So good morning.
Good morning. I appreciate you letting us in a little early. We do this breakfast with each of the schools every month, and we used to do that at lunch, and this year we had a discussion and decided, let's do it when the kids get dropped off at school and kind of cheer them on as they come in. So when we squeeze out of here in a few minutes, that's where we're all going, over to Stewart School, and going to spend a little time.
My alma mater. I'm a former Bulldog, as a matter of fact, yes. Well, Matthew, I want to begin with you, and then we are joined by a very esteemed panel this morning, the Director of Schools, Cleveland High Principal, and Cleveland Board of Education Chairman. So I want to start with you and talk about last night.
Well, one of the big things that stood out last night, there's an old statement, if you build it, they will come. And when we walked in that board meeting last night, I frankly walked in at squealing my tires there at the 5:30 time block, but the place was packed. And I don't know, we're estimating maybe close to 100 people or more that were in there. Now, some of those were part of the AP scholars and some of the folks we'll talk about tonight, but I've never seen a board meeting with that much attendance. And we've been in the new facility for 2 months now, 3 months. This may be our third meeting there. Maybe I'm wrong on that, close to that. But it seems like every month we have greater attendance. And, I no doubt that's because they want to come hear Nate talk. But
oh, absolutely. No doubt.
I like the idea that we're getting more involvement in those board meetings.
Certainly so. And it was, I want to bring in Dr. Jeff Elliott, Director of Cleveland City Schools. It was a very impactful meeting as we went back and looked at it last night.
Yeah, we had a lot of things going on last night, but one of the things I wanted to recognize is one of our very own staff members, Hal Taylor.
Yeah.
Last night we had an opportunity just to recognize him. Tonight he will be recognized and honored with a special award. Tonight is the awards banquet he received the Tennessee Educator of the Year Award for Environmental Health. And we know Mr. Taylor is our Director of Operations in Cleveland City Schools and has been there for several years now, does a wonderful job in overseeing our facilities and everything that's going on. And also, you don't think about it, but as he works on the HVAC and all those components related to the health environment of our schools and making sure we're in a healthy environment, he does a great job with that. So we're glad to celebrate Hal Taylor, and we did that and recognized him last night during our time together.
Well, my question, can I still call him Shallow Hal now that he's won this big award?
You can call him whatever you want.
Santa Claus is my favorite.
Yeah, he does a great job.
I love Hal Taylor.
Whatever gets him motivated to keep working, you go ahead and do that, Steve.
Wonderful man. Bob Pritchard is the principal of Cleveland High School, and Bob, talk about your part of all this.
So last night, Cleveland High School was spotlighted at the board meeting, and so a couple of things that we spotlighted was, one, our AP Scholar number is growing crazy, and so we had almost double what we've ever had. Last year was the biggest group of 21 AP Scholars, and then last night we had 40. And one of our students is a National Merit semifinalist. He also got a 36 on his ACT. That's Mr. Luke Felty. I'd like to give him a shout out this morning because got a perfect score on the ACT, and he is a National Merit Scholar semifinalist.
Wow.
The next thing we talked about was a new implementation of a PBIS type thing we're doing at Cleveland High School. We call it the Raider Way.
What's PBIS for those who have no clue what you're talking about?
Positive behavior intervention and support.
Yeah, see, I would have no clue what that means.
You were never rewarded for positive behavior. I can't imagine that.
I would have no idea.
Not even as a bulldog?
No, Lord, no. Matt, and Matt especially would not know what that means. But anyway.
So one of the cool things about this is the board and the director of schools, they trusted us to follow through with this program. And so we came to them kind of like, can we do this? And they jumped on board, and we're giving kids back that are doing everything they're supposed to be doing. We're giving them some time back every quarter on a Friday, and it gives us time to intervene with the kids that need extra help. And so last year we pulled the data yesterday, and yesterday. We had 1,369 students, or 1,369 failing courses at this time last year. Yesterday, when we pulled the data, we had 498. So it's working. Like it's almost 60% down. And so it's working. It gives us a chance to intervene with the kids that need the extra help, and also reward the kids who are always doing what they're supposed to be doing anyway. Those are the ones that are always like, why don't we get the pizza party? So now we get to give them the pizza party.
Nate Tucker is the Cleveland Board of Education chairman. Nate, your thoughts on what's happening?
Yes, if you remember about 3 to 4 months ago, we were in the process of hiring a director of schools, and part of that process was receiving feedback from the community. But before I go any further, let me say that we appreciate the work that Dr. Jeff Elliott's doing. He's doing an awesome job, and so we're excited about the future of Cleveland City Schools. But part of that feedback that we received, it was done in various ways. Some of it was in person, some of it was in survey form. And the reason I mention that is because we were listening, and I think we will continue to listen, and it's even more important now because we're in the process of developing a strategic plan, a 5-year strategic plan. And part of that strategic plan includes a TISA plan, and I know that's an acronym that people don't recognize.
Please, Nate, will you help me? What is all these acronyms we're doing this morning?
And so
I'm back at Cleveland High.
that stands for Tennessee Investment in Student Achievement, and so we unanimously approved the plan for the next several years for that. But the reason why I mentioned feedback, because we're going to be asking for feedback, and we're listening again. We want to hear from the community. We want to hear from inside the schools, outside the schools, and use that information to help us formulate what that strategic plan looks like. And that's important because the Cleveland City Schools belong to Cleveland, right? And we're just representatives there. And you may provide some feedback, and it may be adopted, it may not, but at the end of the day, we are representing you. Just like when I ask for something, it doesn't always get done because I'm one of 7. And so if you think about receiving all of that feedback, we're not going to be able to meet every need, but that people put out there. But we're going to do our best, and that's what we're about, meeting needs of our students. According
to the notes from last night, you're hoping to have this plan by March of next year. Is that right?
That is correct.
And so, if people want to reach out, because you are soliciting the community, members of the community, what do they do? I mean, how do they get in touch?
There'll be an official release about how to do that. But while I'm talking, let me also say we're talking about a strategic plan, but we're still listening. So people can always go to our website and search for feedback and provide that feedback. And Dr. Ellie and his team will be happy to hear from you.
Yeah, I'll just chime in right there. Yeah, we have a place on our website where you can submit feedback. If you have a question about a specific item beyond the school level, you can submit that on an ongoing basis. But later in the fall, we will be sharing some information out with our community. We'll be holding some forums and conducting some survey work to get feedback later in the fall as we continue through this process of developing our strategic plan.
We are joined, this is the Logan-Thompson Law segment, and of course, community service, traditional community service, always a part of what Logan-Thompson Law does, and so they give their time up once a month. The Cleveland Board of Education, of course, Jimmy sends them an invoice later. It's fine. I want to go back to Dr. Elliott for a moment. You did discuss last night also school safety.
Yes.
After the surrounding school systems have seen the increase in threats as we've seen the last couple of months. Tell me about the board and what you guys talked about last night.
Sure. Yes, we have Mr. Cliff Eason is our safety specialist on our staff, and he continually monitors safety and is in contact with our school principals on a regular basis. And when there's an issue that arises to the top, they contact him immediately. And we have a threat assessment team as a district made up of several different individuals, from administrators to counselors to teachers, who can analyze the situation and see the individual and what's going on and how to address that situation, and informs and is really a consultant to our school level when there is an issue that occurs. Fortunately, we haven't had any credible threats this semester, this year, and so we're very fortunate, but we're always ready to go. And so Mr. Eason last night shared that process and what he does about that and how he kind of oversees that. And that information will be posted on our website, if just the general information. If anybody's curious about that, of the process that we do when we do have a suspected threat that might be in in our schools. We have a procedure for that.
Of course, you can go back and watch the meeting, mixtv.tv. And one more point here, Dr. Elliott. The update given on the expansion at Candies Creek, Cherokee Elementary.
Man, it's a phenomenal process and progress being made over at Candies Creek. We have those 6 classrooms being added on to the back so that we can continue to make room for the additional growth that we're seeing in our community and over on the northwest side of our community there in Candies Creek. And so Mr. Taylor gave us an update. We are moving forward. We're going into second semester in January or 1st of February. We'll be getting to the conclusion of that expansion project. So hopefully before the year is over, some of those students might even be able to move into some of those classrooms and make a little bit of headway and providing a little bit more room for our students over at Candies Creek.
Matthew Coleman, of course, 2 hats here, the Logan-Thompson Law Firm, but also Cleveland Board of Education member. Anything you want to add here, Matthew?
You know, I want to talk about partnerships.
Please.
And I think partnerships are vital to all of this. And I thank you guys for what you did last week with Operation Compassion. You had our high school students over there help loading boxes,
man,
getting those
wonderful.
over to North Carolina and the other
They're
areas
wonderful.
of need. Logan-Thompson partnering with groups throughout the community. Even though we're growing, and many of the people I see today are not those that we saw many years ago, it's still a great community, and partnerships is what's going to make this community move further. As we work to expand some of the school systems and grow through there, you know, reaching out to our community and how they can help us and how we can help them is just going to be vital. So appreciate all you do and what the school's doing, and just incredible time.
Hey, and I'll totally go a side note here. You know, you brought your wife, Sarah. You guys, or she may have brought you to the Operation Compassion thing. Probably more appropriate. No, seriously though, her family.
Yep.
I know she has family in the Asheville area, I believe.
Up near Boone, outside
Boone,
of
okay.
about 45 minutes in the mountains there.
How they
between
doing?
Boone and Elizabeth. You know, they're good. He is an outdoorsman, and this is kind of his great time to survive. But I think they're still without power. They're still they still don't have good roads in their area. So while our kids were supposed to be there for fall break last week, we couldn't have even gotten there if we wanted to. So, but they're good. They're happy. But
Still without power though.
Still without power. Now
You know-
they run off a generator.
Yeah, sure.
Currently, but getting
Yeah.
fuel up there for the generator has been its own challenges. So there's a lot of need in those communities, and we don't want to just walk away and forget that.
That's why I brought it up, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, the need is
Yeah.
still there. Just because the hot media attention may have wandered nationally,
Right.
that need is still great.
Absolutely. And politics aside, I mean, those are our families up there.
That's right.
And there's a lot of people in this community that still have families in the Boone and Asheville area, and so we just need to keep them in our prayers and continue to outreach.
We're going to be joined tomorrow morning by Kelvin Page. He's the president of Operation Compassion. He's also, of course, pastor of Westmore. He's going to join us in our live broadcast from Zaxby's tomorrow morning. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. And, of course, the highlight's always Brandy King. At one time, she was Sarah Jennings in another life. But anyway, Brandy, great to see you. And, of course, now Communications Director at Cleveland City Schools. Thank you all very much. Do appreciate the Logan-Thompson Law Firm. They make this time available. LoganThompsonLaw.com. And I think Matt's going to go dancing for the Kidney Association coming up. And you're going to give us an update
We
maybe
may
soon.
come here next week and chat.
Next week. Gonna
See if
do
we have
that.
a surprise guest.
Oh, surprise guest. I love it. All right. Tell you what, Bridget, let's get a check